Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the OTT Podcast. My name is Tyler Thompson. I'm the editor-in-chief of Kentucky Sports Radio. Tonight, I'm joined by my husband, Matt.
Hello.
And fake Barney, a.k.a. Weak Man. Still a weak man.
Still a weak man, ready for season 2, which you had prepped me to not like, and I actually liked it. I mean, you could tell that it was a little different because of the writer's strike or whatever, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting.
We'll get into that in a minute, but in case you were just listening to this and not watching this, we are doing this on Zoom, so you can watch us and see Barney's multiple Zoom backgrounds on KSR's YouTube channel. We had a very good dedicated listener, remind us that, you know, not everybody is watching these; they're listening to them too. So we'll try and do a better job of explaining what the slides we show. And
like right now, Barney has a picture of Julie Taylor, and he's drawn a heart around her, which is very sweet.
I can't wait to hear you defend that this week, because she is all sorts of awful in season 2.
I didn't think she was that bad, but whatever.
Oh my God, you're ridiculous. She was terrible.
No, she's fine.
We'll get into that.
With Sayers.
We'll get into that.
I have issues with Julie Taylor in this season. I'm just saying.
Right. So we are on season 2 of our Friday Night Lights rewatch. Like last time, we're going to split the season into different parts. So our first episode of season 2 rewatch is going to be episodes 1 through 8. And then we're going to do episodes 9 through 15. So if you haven't caught up on the entire season, if you're only so many episodes in, you can take your time listening to our podcast. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And the seasons are getting shorter now, which makes it a lot easier to rewatch. I don't know about you, but it was kind of nice not to have to plow through like 22 episodes in a week.
Yeah, it's 24 episodes. That's where we got 24 from. That's why 24 is so great.
Wow.
Hey, we made it. Okay, whoever had getting it, how far are we into the podcast before I mentioned 24? Wasn't that long?
I forgot to start my timer, but it hasn't been long. I'll tell you that. That's a great idea. Let me start a timer, because
we should have a timer on how long it takes me to mention Vince Gill, 24, or John Mayer.
Not long.
Yeah.
All of the above. If you had 3 minutes, consider yourself a winner. But yeah, so okay, we're switching. Barney has now switched to the Minka Kelly, John Mayer.
It's the best of both worlds for Barnes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm right in the middle of them too. Look at me.
Awkward.
So Matt, I'm excited that you're joining us. I got you into Friday Night Lights many moons ago.
You did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was glad to finish out the last couple seasons with you. It was definitely a binge watcher for sure.
Yeah.
Did you run right out and buy a members only jacket?
You know, when I want to impress a girl, sometimes the members only jacket is appropriate.
I heard that you have one. I've been told. I've been told from a reliable source. Yeah, go get it.
It's not really the traditional members only jacket though. So
it's close.
They call it.
But if it says members only on it, I had no idea what that was.
It's more like a high school, like I play for the basketball team and I have this,
it's not like a letter jacket though.
So it's like my Charlotte Hornets one, the whole zip suit that goes swish 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 when I walk, or it's like.
I think you should go put it on, and then we can give our friends at Smith & Wentz some free publicity.
Okay.
And we can grade it on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'll find it. I will say this is not a traditional members-only jacket because it would usually have like a zipper.
Okay, that's fine. Enough disclaimers. Get it, and you need to model it for us.
Show us the jacket.
Yeah, we need to walk back and forth. I want a full demonstration of it.
So you are wearing a chap shirt, which means
I got my chap shirt, which is basically members only in my hometown because
preppy members only.
Is it preppy? It's chap.
It's so
even though Baby Bop noted that whatever it is that's listening to all of us is definitely listening, because when she heard us talking about chaps, and I obviously recorded that in our house, and then she listened to the podcast, and now she's getting all these ads on Instagram for chaps.
Nice.
And even one came, talk about full circle. She got one today that was Mandy Moore wearing chaps.
Oh my God, that's like your dream.
I didn't want to say that, but yes.
All right, so this is Matt's members only jacket.
This is my members only jacket.
It says taps, which is kind of like chaps.
Kind of.
Yeah. Taps.
Can you model it for us? Can we? Is it snap?
No.
Does it zip? I mean,
it's snap buttons. It's got the stripes on the.
Is it leather? It looks really shiny.
Lens logo on the back.
It's just like
not
vinyl, but whatever.
It's like Ross's pants.
Yeah, it's very, I don't know.
Shiny.
I like it. What does it say besides taps?
So it says Smith and Lentz Brewing.
Our favorite brewery that got not destroyed, but it got damaged. Yeah, that's good.
Nice.
It got damaged in the tornado back in March. So they're still trying to rebuild. So shout out to Smith and Lentz. We love you.
Shout out to Smith and Lentz.
Yeah, shout out.
I think we went there.
Yeah, did we take you there? Yeah.
Yeah, we had a brewski at one of Matt's favorite places.
I think that brewery we went to was actually Tailgate.
Yeah.
Oh,
but anyway,
okay.
Enough of
I was just along for the ride. So
So let's hop right into season 2. Probably the most controversial season of Friday Night Lights because, as we've mentioned a few times, the writer's strike cut it short. So it was supposed to be another 22-episode season. It got cut short at episode 15. So if you're watching, and we'll get into this in our next episode, and you're like, that was a really weird way to end a season, they didn't mean to end it that way. It just happened.
It was a really weird thing, but yeah, we can talk about that. I will do my best to not spoil. This is going to be a spoiler-free episode.
It's good.
I'm going to do it. I've got it in me.
Got the spoiler-free jar ready. Jar.
Do I have to pay $10 or do I get like a budget?
Yeah. It's a community thing. It's a community
thing.
15. Yeah. But you get one freebie because you modeled the jacket for us.
There you go.
That's awesome.
One free spoiler.
So let's start with episodes 1 through 8. Instead of doing like a full recap, let's just dive right into our awards, and then I think that will kind of give enough of the plot as we go along. We'll start with you, Barney. What was your favorite storyline from the first half of season 2?
My favorite storyline. Well, I'll start with my worst. The worst storyline was Meth Head and Riggins. That was so bad. I mean, I was like, where is this going? And then we found out where it was going eventually, but I just feel like they could have gotten us there in a different way. I mean, the tidy whities was just too much.
You didn't like the ferrets?
It was stupid. Like, it was like, what's the big deal? Like, I didn't know if it would have made sense if eventually, here comes a spoiler, and like nothing ever happens with the ferrets. Like, if maybe he had accidentally killed a ferret, or like, the ferret, he lost a ferret, but we heard the word ferret way too many times for nothing to happen. So that was the worst storyline. I don't know about the best. I'll think about that one, but that was definitely the worst.
The best was hard because I had so many that I hated. We'll get into this throughout these next 2 episodes of our podcast. Season 2 was off the wall. Like, I think the best thing about Friday Night Lights is how it talks about the characters, how you kind of relate to them in the football. And let me check my timer. We are 6 minutes into my deleted timer, and we have the Bloodline virtual background. So if you had that on your bingo card, mark it down. Barney sometimes thinks that he's on a Bloodline podcast, which he's not. But back to what I was saying, it's just the football and the family and the friend. Like, it's such a relatable show, and the storytelling with that is so great. But in season 2, it's like a soap opera. They go from, this murder storyline.
I was about to say, what the heck?
Yeah, let me pull up I've got my.
It was shocking, though. I did not expect that.
So I had 3 least favorite storylines, which shows you I could have had more. Number 1 least favorite storyline was the Landry Tyra murder the guy who attacked her.
Right.
Because, my God, first of all, I just don't see them doing that. Second of all, the plot holes that came with it were insane.
Huge plot holes, yeah. Sure, he was walking away, but at the same time, he had just attacked Tyra, and they could have easily said that he was, walking toward Tyra or whatever, and just lied to the police about where they were standing. I mean, clearly there was justification there for self-defense. They could have made up the evidence or changed the evidence just a little bit. I mean, the only thing that wasn't just clearly defense of others was him walking away when he hit him in the back with the pipe. But, I mean, he was going to continue to harass them. But it's not – you can't kill somebody for that. But you can if they're, like, assaulting you. And he was, like, assaulting Tyra for fear of her life. I mean, like, that's defense of others. I mean, It was terrible. And, like, and that, not even that, as the cover-up went on throughout the first half of the season, it just got worse. Yeah. Like, so Landry's dad is a cop, right? And immediately he's so great. And he's the same character in everything. He's basically Michael Cera. Like, he's the same, like, in every single thing that he does. Yeah. And he talk about two people that look exactly alike. Man, him and really Landry, they've got to be related somehow.
Yeah. So what got me the most, the biggest, WTF moment with that storyline was in episode 8, the last episode we're covering in this episode. His dad was, so worried about Landry that he's like, we got to go burn your car. Because they had fibers from the car, the cops found that they could match to like 3 different cars in town.
Is this spoilers, I think?
No,
it's episode 8.
Okay.
But yeah, I couldn't believe that his dad, who was a cop, was like, well, if we just burn the car, it'll all be fine.
I feel like murderers' cars and all these TV shows have that red interior and that like rare red interior. Right.
Yeah.
Didn't like Stephen Avery's car have that too or something? I don't know.
It seems familiar.
Car had that red interior. So.
Did it?
Yeah.
Whose did? Did you say Stephen Avery's? Was I right about that?
No, he was saying his first car.
Yeah. Oh, your car. Oh.
1990 Chevy Lumina. And it had that kind of crushed red velvet interior.
Was this the one that you took Tyler up to see the WSM tower in? Are there some red fibers that, that blossom into the relationship?
I had it in high school. I mean, you mocked the tower, and then when you found out that it was the WSM tower,
it was awesome. You left that tidbit out.
Yeah. Well, you were mocking me, so I didn't move to that next piece of information. So that was your own loss there.
But yeah, so back to this, the Landry Tyra murder thing is so stupid. Like, I hated everything about it. And then
what were the other ones you hated?
The Mexico storyline.
Oh, that was so dumb.
I mean, we go from somebody murdered somebody to Jason Street is going to go to Mexico and get shark DNA injected into him and his legs are going to work. Like, what in the world?
And I can't believe Tyra can't. Or Lila, whatever. They're all the same. Lyra, Tyra. Like, how did she even get there? Like, it's like basically she shows up in a cab. Did she take a cab from Dillon to Mexico? Like, what the heck?
And also, like, I could have had this for my most cringeworthy moment, but there are a lot of cringeworthy moments.
Yeah.
So Riggins and Street go to Mexico, and Lila has to come bail them out of jail or something.
Right.
And they, have this wonderful day in Mexico. And they're drinking or something, and like she ends up kissing both of them.
Yeah, that was really scary.
And then you
forgot that Jason Street pulled a Lieutenant Dan off the side of the boat while it was moving.
Yeah, that was terrible. And then she kisses them both, and it's like, I gotta go pray now. It's like, oh my God.
That was really bad. That was really, really bad.
And then my other least favorite one, I'll let you go here in a minute, Matt, was Santiago, but I've got a lot of thoughts on that I'm going to save for our second episode.
Yeah, same here, because he just Houdini, so yeah.
What about you, Matt? Anything I left out?
Well, I mean...
What was your favorite story?
Okay, well, I was waiting for that moment. I think my favorite storyline is between Riggins and Coach Taylor, where Coach won't let him be back on the team after he went on a
that was good.
Week-long what was it? The
sojourn.
Yeah. I don't even know what sojourn is.
I had that as my best sports moment.
I like how, Riggins really wants to be part of the team. It's kind of really what is keeping him, at least not not hanging out with Ferret Guy and out of trouble. But
let's call him Ferret Fawcett.
and Coach wants him on the team. I mean, he hears Smash begging for him to be back on the team, but he's got his, he's just not going to get back on the team. Just nothing. Like he's going to have to go through some trial and tribulations. And the fact that Riggins just didn't say like, well, screw this, I'll go hang out with Ferret Guy. He actually tried to change and grow so he could, get back into the good graces with Coach Taylor. So that was probably my favorite from that first half of the season. My least favorite, I mean, you hit on so many of them. I guess what I would say is I'll just comment on the ones that I mostly agree with you. I think Landry's behavior after he murdered the guy was not within character.
Yeah.
No, and it was he was so annoying
at the end. But the fact that he even considered, collaborating with Tyra to cover it up, like he really should have been the one, like Tyra, like, no, we got to go to the police, and
right.
She's going to be like, no, we got to do this, and maybe a little bit of that happened, but I certainly don't see him in his character.
I completely agree.
Cover up for the murder. And even more so if this happened at the end, which I'm taking word for it, totally against Landry's dad. Say, I thought he was like, we're going to the police, you're going to make a confession.
Right.
No, they're going to a junkyard to hide evidence. That's not within character.
And Matt, what about when he's like crying in the police station and stuff, and like his dad's like dragging him down the hall? Like, get out of here, man.
What happened with all that? They just
it was just him wanting to get him home because Landry just had to get all this off of his chest.
And then I would say, I think you made good points about the Mexico stuff. I can't believe it was like 3 episodes of them in Mexico.
Oh, it's drug out, yeah.
And 1.5. So
exactly.
It was 3.
The story of season 2. Bad storylines. Yeah. So my favorite moment was everything, and this was also my Billy G moment. Everything having to do with Smash's recruiting visit was like my all-time favorite thing.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud at Cabo in my pants. It's not really that funny, but I could not stop laughing at that. And everything about his recruiting visit, I just found to be outrageous and awesome.
That was really good. Yeah.
It was very Billy G, and it was definitely my favorite thing that happened.
That's so not the best Billy G moment though, because I had this revelation when I was doing my notes today. The best Billy G moment was Jason Street doing karaoke drunk in the streets of Mexico. But he's like,
that's a good point.
Doing the spoof of La Cucaracha.
Yeah, because it takes 2 great Billy G moments. You have the playing in the ballroom in Mexico, mixed with the American or karaoke or wherever it is, and then you got. But at the same time, Smash ended up in his underwear under a bridge, needing a ride from Sarah's, and that feels very Billy G to me.
Yeah, and we kind of saw Smash go through. At the end of season 1, he had been humbled, and he had been dating someone who had mental health issues, and was helping.
What happened to her? She straight up disappeared. She's gone.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah. So, but then he's just reverted. He's the star again. He's Smash, and he's all ego, and this is my team, and I'm going to get my touches, and blah blah blah. We'll get into Smash more, I think, in the next episode because he went through a lot this season.
I had the teammate chasing him down the hall. I mean, that was very Alan Cutler, Billy G. I don't know. I feel like we might need to put this up for a vote.
We can do that. The best Billy G moment.
Yeah. Which moment was more Billy G? Smash's recruiting visit or karaoke in Mexico?
What do you think? No pressure.
I'm going to say the drunk karaoke, to be honest. So
it's very Billy G because he actually did that. But he also, he's got a teammate's girlfriend, and that allegedly may have also
That's true. That is true. Yeah. So favorite character. Let me share my screen. This one was kind of hard for me. I went with Saracen, and only because I really liked when he turned down Julie.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, this pigeonholes me and launches me into my least favorite character, Julie Taylor.
Come on.
Julie freaking Taylor.
She is
Haters
no
gonna
more
hate
than she is in the first half of season 2. I mean, she's
a whiny little brat.
Oh, here we go. Barney has switched his picture to the Julie Taylor background. I expected you to have like that heart be broken when we.
No, why? Okay, make a case. You can't just complain and say she sucks. Okay. Why does she suck?
The whole Swede storyline. So she starts out the season as a lifeguard, and there's another lifeguard who's
the Swede. That was so dumb.
It was so dumb. So
that's not her fault. It's the Swede's fault.
No, it's not. It's totally her fault.
Oh, please, come on.
So she basically dumps Matt Saracen. Well, before she dumps him, she goes to watch the Swede and his stupid band, which is terrible. That music was awful.
It was really bad.
She lies to her parents, and she has to have the Swede.
She feels like she's becoming her mom. She's dating the football. I mean, like that was. That was good character development.
She's becoming a floozy because she wanted this hot older guy. Found out hot older guy had a girlfriend, and she had to end up calling her dad at 2:30 in the morning to pick her up from the car. Like,
yeah, that was good.
She gets what she deserves. She broke up with Matt. She's terrible to her mother, to the point that her mother has to smack her across the face, which is not a good look for Timothy, but it's an even worse look for Julie because she's just doing everything she can to piss off her mom, who's trying to keep it together while Coach Taylor is.
We needed that. She was interesting, and it was realistic. I mean, to me, that felt like something that could actually happen.
Matt, what are your thoughts on Julie Taylor?
I think she is a spoiled little brat. I only felt marginally bad when her mom slapped her, because what she probably needed was at least a spanking. I mean, she wants her cake and eat it too. When she realized this image of the Swede and what she thought she had ended up not being that way. She just went home and didn't really, I guess, like whatever, something happened, like just cover it up. Just didn't talk about like, hey, maybe something that I was expecting to happen didn't happen. I'm a little let down. It's just like, yeah, whatever. And then she just totally expects Matt Saracen to be this chump.
I know.
To be like, well, hey,
which he kind of was.
Back. Like, why isn't this going to be fine? How about we do this? Because I need to have that.
He did. He chumped out till Landry called him on it.
Which was a great moment.
Well, but see, that to me is part of Matt Saracen's growth, because
this is part of Julie's growth to me.
No, she didn't grow. That's the problem. She didn't grow.
I think she did. I totally think she did.
Up and said, look, my friends are right. I don't have to have somebody in my life who I think loves me just because I'm so torn up from everybody that I love leaving me. And then I'm better off, with being with people that don't treat me and leave me alone just because they think.
Yeah, but he's boring. I mean, Saracen's boring. He can't even get a word out. Do your Saracen impression. I heard you have a Saracen impression.
Julie, come on. Why won't you be with me, Julie? Come on. Like, no.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, who wants to be with that?
Grandma, okay, we're going to make some pancakes. How do you like it?
Your grandma was spot on.
I know you like them with syrup. I know, okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's not even the worst Julie storyline in the first half of the season. The worst Julie storyline was Justin Teacher Lake that she was scrolling around with. Which
also she knows better. She's getting in trouble. Her mom.
He's in a fiduciary relationship. He can't. He's preying upon her, and that was nothing but.
You are making excuses for her.
So I don't not hold that teacher responsible. But
yeah, it's gross. If that's anybody but Julie, y'all would say that was gross,
right? And her mom told her so. So
I agree.
Yeah, her mom. Yeah, which leads me to my award for the most cringeworthy moment. Tammy confronting Justin Teacher Lake was so awkward.
Yeah. That was pretty cringy.
Can you get a picture of that guy? He looked just like Justin Timberlake.
I don't want to look one up, but yeah.
He needed to be a freshman year college professor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how can you defend Tammy on the Swede, but with slapping Julie, but then not hold her accountable for the way that she acted around Justin Teacher?
Oh, I don't defend Tammy for slapping.
Well, Tyler's all in love with Tammy. Like, Tammy Taylor's so great. She's not.
Tammy makes a mistake. She owns it. Julie
That's
does.
true.
Tammy made a lot of mistakes in season 2, and not all of them were Julie's fault.
Okay, so my most cringeworthy moment. Well, actually, before that, I wanted to get into this. So the big part of the first half of season 2 is Coach Taylor coming back from TMU. He quits his job at TMU. He comes back. They pay off the guy they hired to be his replacement at Dillon. So part of
that guy suck.
Yeah, that guy really.
That's your Billy G moment right
Yeah.
there.
Bad coach. Yeah, put that in there too. We should have a three-way playoff.
Man, so part of that was Buddy Garrity met Coach Taylor at some rest area and had this you need to come back talk.
It was so great.
I know, but do you think it was fair? So as part of that talk, Buddy said he brought up how much Coach Taylor's family was struggling.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair? Because let's be honest, Buddy was doing this because he didn't like that he got kicked out of the inner circle. And
it was so awesome.
I know,
it was so great, classic Buddy.
I know.
But it's Tim. That's why Buddy's great.
But
you guys are hating on the antagonists of the show. Buddy and Julie are my favorites because they stir the pot. I will make the argument without Buddy and Julie, this show would be way more boring because you'd have no conflict on the football team with Buddy and you'd have no conflict at home with Julie. And what's even better is when Buddy moves into the home and then Julie's walking in on him on the shower. That's when it just all explodes into just super awkwardness and greatness.
So wait, you don't like Buddy Garrity, Tyler, or you?
Oh, I love Buddy.
Okay,
but not Julie, which makes no sense.
Yeah. I just think that it's I don't think it was fair of Buddy to be like, your family is struggling. I've seen them out there. I've seen Tammy with that baby, and I've seen Julie with the. I'm starting to do my Buddy Garrity impression.
Do it.
But I just don't think that was entirely fair.
Eric,
I need you to meet me because it's an important message that I have to deliver to you. And if I tell you what it's about, I know you won't come.
Eric,
okay, should we get Buddy Garrity? So Tyler and I did some research on Cameo, and we can pay a certain dollar amount to get Buddy. Do you think that we should get him on the show for the sole purpose of him hearing all 3 of our Buddy Garrity impressions?
Not for the sole purpose, because I think that's insulting. I mean, this guy.
No, I think we should ask him to grade them. I think on a.
We respect him as an actor, and then
we're going to respect him enough to pay him his $200 or whatever it is.
I think we should probably ask him some more questions about the show before we say which one of us does the better impression.
Okay, all right. So we disguise it. We ninja it up a little bit, not make it obvious that that's the real reason that we've got him on is to give our impressions, a 1 to 10.
So here's my thing with Buddy, bringing Eric back. I think you're all correct. Remember, Buddy's a car salesman. So, I mean, he knows what to say to get people to change their mind. So if they're not sure about buying the car or this car is expensive.
For the most part.
He wants to change their mind. And I think he's done a pretty good job about that, even doing a little bait and switch, which is kind of what he did with Coach Taylor a little bit and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, I admire him. I think here's the thing is I do think that Buddy is, he just wants to be a part of the team because that is a part of his identity. And I think his character arc that I think you'll see over the season is that you realize is that what Buddy thinks defines him as a person when he starts to lose that one way or the other, then he starts to fall apart. So he loses his family. He loses his, I'm the chief booster. I'm in with the coach. He starts to crumble a little bit, and he does whatever he can to bring that back together to maintain sanity. And his arc is, how does he grow from that? And he hasn't yet. He's still wheeling and dealing.
I hope he never does.
Still wheeling and dealing.
Well, and second half, I have some thoughts on Buddy's sales skills as he tries them out on a family member, and has some great lines that I may or may not incorporate it, in any kind of sales that I might do one day.
Oh gosh!
I've written them down, so I'm ready for that for our next episode.
Awesome.
So, what's next on our awards?
I'll give you my cringeworthy one. Let me share my screen again. Although this wasn't from the same episode. I really like that picture for some reason. But no, my most cringeworthy moment of the first half of season 2 was Jason's birthday party. Why were Buddy Garrity and Coach Taylor there? Like, I know his mom invited them, but that is the most awkward birthday party.
And watching the videos,
They're watching his old tape. Like, look at you running around with your legs.
Yeah, that was really cringeworthy.
Like, I think they made a comment like, if Jason and I gotten hurt, Lila would be rich, and off of his football money and all this other kind of stuff. It's like,
I had 2 other cringeworthy moments I wrote down. How about when Saracen told Big Mouth Billy Bass, girlfriend of his, that he wanted an open relationship?
That was so bad.
Her mouth is like this big.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. And then the other one I had written down was when, how about when Coach told Tammy that she needs to spend more time with her family?
That was bad.
I was like, no. I wanted to crawl under the blanket.
That may have been episode 9, maybe.
I think it was 8.
It was 8. Okay. Right. I had that written down somewhere because I was really pissed off at Coach Taylor for that, because Tammy went through so much in the first.
I mean, it was probably some postpartum stuff or something going on there, but her behavior in the first half of the season was inexcusable in several places, and I'm glad that Coach checked her, man.
That is so misogynistic.
She needed to be checked.
Rolling through more. Did you have another cringeworthy moment, or were those?
You said most of them. I think, Jason drunk and just telling everybody that he's going to walk again tomorrow.
Gonna walk.
And I just no, you're not gonna.
Use your legs.
Yeah. And then I was a little bit surprised and taken aback when, Tammy slapped Julie. That was not good. And that was bad. And I definitely
it was not a great
can't
moment.
Be doing that.
No, it wasn't good.
Best sports moment, I couldn't come up with one because there wasn't that much football, which is another really big issue I had with this season.
Yeah.
There just wasn't.
Mine was Matt's earlier, where Riggins apologizes to the team, because it was such it was such a great team moment, and it was a sports moment. I mean, it was the way that he needed to come back, and he needed to figure that out. And that just felt very sportsy to me, even though it wasn't in the context of a game. The way that he apologized was funny, but it was also him, but it was also sincere. So I liked that.
Okay.
I had maybe 2, I think, Smash and Saracen getting at it between each other, and then having to learn how to coexist.
Yeah, that was good.
With each other.
On the sideline, that scene, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, he took him to dinner and made him talk, and
that was awkward too.
Look, I know you guys. I know I need to win to have you guys, but I'm also going to bench you until you all figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I would also say, damn it, I just had it in my mind and I just lost it. When Smash went to Coach and basically said, You just need to bring Riggins back because I'm getting killed out there. I'm you need to do this.
Right.
Taylor was like, No. What you need to do is work, lift weights, run your plays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Finding that problem of replacing Riggins is my problem, and I'll figure it out. I'll handle it. You handle your stuff, and you don't come in here and tell me how to coach my team. And I was like, boom, yeah, smash.
That was good.
You made me think of a plot hole too. Then that aggravated me here was that couldn't somebody just tell Coach why Riggins went to Mexico? He would have been fine with it if he knew that he was going there so that Street wouldn't kill himself.
Well,
I think he would be.
As I think we're going to find out later in the season, it's hard to change Coach's mind once he has an initial reaction about what he thinks is happening.
It's a good point.
Very good point. The most real moment, I put Tammy's sister visiting because I thought it was very funny how, they show Tammy stressing out and complaining about her sister coming to visit and just ranting to her husband. And then the minute the doorbell rings, she just freaks out and she's like, ah! And just runs up to the door and gives her sister.
That was real.
Very sisterly, very good moment. Yeah, that's the one I had. What about you, Barney?
I wrote down Landry at the diner with Lila. So you're right. Lila was pretty insufferable, and so was the Landry storyline. But I felt like that their conversation there was really real and raw, where you could tell that he was suffering with the secret that he had, and that when Lila Lila had no idea what it was he was talking about and what type of advice that she was given. But she was just said something as simple as, just tell the truth. And that, kind of shook him or jarred him enough to realize, that was really the only way that he was going to escape this prison that he had put himself in, with this chain of events. And that's why, this episode and the first half of the season ended with his confession. And you could trace it directly back to that conversation with Lila. So I think as annoying as she has been, and the peak of which was the Mexico, kissing everybody and their grandma, and in front of each other too. You didn't mention that. Yeah. It wasn't just that it was the time proximity from one to the other. It was the fact that they were both sitting there eating an apple, watching the other one, kiss something.
So weird.
Yeah, it's like something that you'd read out of the news this week or something. It was crazy.
I'm going to go back to drunk Jason. The other notes, I was looking through all my notes. I thought it was interesting that before Coach Taylor left TMU, they had him take that player who had gotten in trouble for taking the concert tickets. He had to go eat in front of the, I don't know, whatever the conference board or whomever decided what his punishment was going to be. And when he came back, the punishment was only 3 games versus they thought it was going to be a lot more.
Right.
And the head coach at TMU said, I can see why you were such a good high school coach, because Coach Taylor kind of had a come to Jesus moment talk with the player. And I thought, what is that speaking about what makes a difference between a good high school coach versus a good college coach? That high school coaches are more willing to put in the time to help a player with their character, whereas college coaches probably feel more pressure to have quick results on the field. Because there was also a scene where the TMU coach, Coach Taylor is trying to help one of the quarterbacks. And he's like, I think he's almost there. I think he's got it, but he's still got some issues. And the head coach is like, he doesn't have it. Just cut him. We don't have time for this.
Right.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
That was really interesting. I'm interested in what Matt thinks about this, but I thought that the entire reason that we had that whole storyline with the player who was, accepting the money or whatever was just so that we could have Coach Taylor along with him for us to see what a jerk that player was, and then have the reaction of him calling out Coach Taylor for being a bad father and a bad husband, and that it was like, wow, if this guy recognizes that, it's kind of like what Matt was saying earlier. It's like, you're going to blame me for this, but you're doing something way worse. I think we kind of had that same thing that we were supposed to feel with him and Coach. And I think that while Buddy's conversation might have been a little bit manipulative, or whatever, a lot manipulative when they met at that diner, like you were saying, I think you might be able to make a good argument that the reason, or one of the big reasons that Coach Taylor came back, was because of the conversations that he had in a different diner with that player.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts on that?
I think Coach Taylor, his character is, I want to do what's right, and I care about people. And occasionally he runs into situations where that level of character is challenged. And those are the moments where, it's Coach Taylor moments are awesome. Because quite frankly, and I don't really think over the series, Coach Taylor kind of has an arc. He kind of learns as he goes and has those moments. I think if I had to say a real moment was when the coach that they ousted from Dillon High School comes to his door and he goes, "Look, I'm just letting you know, I'll find a job, I'll move on, but kind of what you did me dirty,
Yeah, right.
We face each other on the field, but at the end of the day, we're both coaches, we both care about our players, and we both have family and children that we got to take care of for. And what you did was a plot to, oust me so that you and Buddy could get what you wanted. And I just want to let you know that, there was a negative consequence to that, and I want you to think about that." And I think he did. I don't think he was necessarily like, "Damn, I shouldn't have done that." It's more of, the next time before I do that, I might need to think about what's happened on that other side, because that one person one day could be me.
Yeah.
Yep, that was good. And I hope maybe we'll see him again, but I doubt it because season 2 was so weird.
I think they meant to.
I think they did,
but
too.
It just got cut short. Because it kind of reminded me of Voodoo in season 1, right? Like, we thought we were done with Voodoo, but he came back at the end. I think that's kind of what they had planned to do, but again,
I don't recall that guy.
I don't think you see him again.
I don't think we see him again.
I think that's all I had.
Can you imagine if John Calipari had to face Billy Gillespie in that moment? He's
awesome.
Out his desk and Cutler's kind of chasing him down.
Awesome.
That's for the post interview, and here comes Cal, and he's shaking hands with people and pointing to people.
Players first.
Yeah.
He's probably pulling out all of Jody Meeks's, witness shirts and handing them out. Yeah. Oh man, that would have been great.
What is this background?
This is Tyra's hair.
Yeah.
It's her new short hairdo.
Are you going to shorten it as we go along?
Yeah, I am. I've got some of my eraser ready.
I think they're trying to do anything they can to make Tyra less tall, and it just doesn't work. I don't think they haven't nailed down her look yet. They haven't figured it out.
I think she looks good with the short hair.
I think she.
Oh, definitely, way better. Yeah, way better.
But I think I promise you, I think her height just caused problems for how they put her in character roles. Because it's just we can put her next to Riggins. They're same height.
Yeah.
But we stick her with Julie. Julie looks like a midget and probably smashed too. I don't know.
All right, how tall do we think the actress who plays her is?
Well, the rest of them are usually really short. So I'm going to say she's probably not as tall as we think, but the rest of them are probably shorter than we think.
6'2".
I'm gonna say 5'11".
5'11".
Ooh.
Right on it.
Yeah, most of the time those other actors, it's not so much that she's so much taller as it is the other actors.
The actors are shorter.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
We'll get into Tyra a little more next episode. Going through my notes, I had
will Landry.
Yeah. I'd like to get into Tyra next episode.
I had some stuff I wanted to say about Carlota because I think that storyline's stupid. But again, I think that's more next episode because we.
Yeah, and again, what happened with all these people?
I think that the writers were just kind of on crack because it was we're used to getting to know characters and character-driven stories, and this was just hey, let's throw a tornado. Here's shark DNA. Here's, whatever. Like, somebody getting murdered.
Dude, tornado, spoiler alert. Come on, man.
Sorry, well, whatever.
Put that in the jar.
Yeah. There. So we'll get into that more. Did you have any closing thoughts, Matt, on the first half of season 2?
It wasn't as bad as I remembered the first time. But there was certainly storylines that could have wrapped up a little bit quicker. And I was kind of surprised how long they landed on. But I still love me some Riggins, and I still love me some Coach Taylor.
Coach Taylor. Eric.
I got the Tyra swoosh going on this.
I know
now I got so this is how her haircut has evolved so far. It's now like a short little like kind of swoosh thing that comes across her face. So I did the best that I could.
Almost like Kate Gosselin. Yeah.
Nah, it would have been a little bit more spiky at the
Spike
par.
in the back.
Yeah.
Barney, closing thoughts on the first half of season 2?
I didn't hate it as much as I was thinking I was going to, but there were definitely some terrible storylines. But as dumb as the whole murder storyline was, it was really entertaining. It was, it was very soap opera, but we like the OC around here, so what can I say?
Fair enough.
I may not hang out for part 2 of season 2, but my closing thoughts is
just like Santiago.
Yeah. My closing thoughts is, you know what? Riggins knows how to fix the cable, and that's all I'm going to say.
That's good. That is good.
Peace out.
All right. All right. We will see you guys in the second episode of our season 2 wrap up. Again, if you are listening to this and you want a visual to go along with what you're hearing, this is all on the KSR YouTube channel. I will have the links on KSR and on Twitter. Or if you're watching
KSR Digital, right?
Yeah, KSR Digital is our official name. Or if you're watching this and you're like, you know what, I'm tired of looking at these people, you can also just download the podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Just look. You're
gonna miss my Tyra hair.
You're gonna miss the Tyra hair, which would just be a damn shame. So, all right, well, we will be back in just a flash. Barney, clear eyes, full hearts.
Okay.
Okay.